Okay, today we're going to talk about building spec homes, single family spec homes, and why I'm starting up again. I'm hoping that this will be an illustrative example where you can take this, look at your market, find similar examples, and do the same. So, this is Pueblo West, Colorado, where I learned about land, where I learned to build homes in 2018. And it's been kind of fun because I've really watched this market cycle several times now. And last year, end of 2022 into last year, it had really, really slowed down after a frenzy. And I also had issue with the contractor I was using. Really, he fell apart because of some personal things. And so I stopped with the spec homes. I've got a duplex being built that I'm just keeping, a couple more duplex lots lined up to build and keep, but I'd stopped on the specs. But the time has come again. So looking at Zillow here, these are all of the available new construction homes under 400,000. And these are in the trailer park, so they're not comparable at all. This is a really obvious, let's see, this one right here, a really obvious modular build. It looks cheap and crappy. So really the only stick-built homes under 400,000 are these four. All four are under construction still. This one's 1,300 foot, so it's really small. And then these ones are very comparable to the product I've put out for years and years. I mean, that doesn't look great, but that's what you get down here, and that's what creates the opportunity because there is consumer demand. I know this has been listed for a long time. That's because he listed it right when they started construction. So all this to say, there is very, very, very little supply of the simple three bed, two bath, two car garage, 15-ish 100 square foot home that I have built for years and years. And we're at the very slow time of the year in Colorado. It really dips between, end of summer and when kids go back to school. So there'll be a little pickup again in the fall, and I'm sure this little inventory will get absorbed. And then along with just the lack of supply here, demand has in general picked up because people are just used to higher rates. That's become more normal. It seems like maybe they'll come down a little bit, but most people aren't expecting some sort of dramatic drop. So all that to say, my plan here is to do two, maybe three of these headed into early next year, because along with the factors on the consumer side of uh, low or a higher demand and still a need for this and a lack of supply, there's the subs and the contractors. They need work. There are so few new construction projects going up that the duplex I'm building is on track to be done in 3.5 months, which is crazy. That saves on the debt service. It just saves your time frame where you're exposed, right, to risk. And so that's another huge factor driving me to want to do this again. So what's the plan? Let's look at it together. Okay, this is the one I have built uh, every time other than these duplexes that I'm doing. And I like this because you have the master on one side, right? This is a simple ranch on a 6 foot crawl space. Master on one side, guest bedrooms on the other side. And usually it's the downsizing baby boomer or the first time millennial home buyer who buys this. And from my experience, these are people, especially the millennials, who are just thrilled to be getting their first house. So they're not picky. They don't want changes. You can just build a pretty commoditized product and they're fine with it. The boomers tends to be the same thing. They're just thrilled that it's one story because they're retired, their kids are gone, they don't need a ton of space. They like that the guest bedrooms on the other side, so they have more privacy on this side. And it's very, very simple and easy to build, right? To show you what this looks like finished, here's the one I did last year, or one of the ones I did last year. This is not a good picture. I'll never use this realtor again, but this ended up getting painted and fit everything else. But the interior, it's nice. If you've never owned a home before, if you're in the lower end of the middle class, a lot of space, tons of light, right? It's always sunny in Colorado. His and hers bath had the walk-in closet. This product does very well, and I like it because it appeals to the largest demographic of buyers, being the millennials and then also the boomers. And so I feel very safe building this. And then being one of the lowest on the market, I expect I'd sell this right around 375, maybe a little higher just because I'm doing it in the next spring when it's the busiest time of year. But even if I sold it at 369, that would be fine. That would be totally, totally fine because we can build this at 260. That's everything except the land. And so I have a lot right over here and another one right over here approximately that I got each of those for about 20 grand. So that would put us at 280. And then let's just say origination fees and debt service are another 20, put us at 300. And then say I sell it at 375 with realtor fees and everything. Let's just call it, there's 50 there, 50-ish, right? Now, I kind of overestimated on the debt service. I'm planning to finance at least one of them with my lines of credit, which are much, much cheaper, no origination. So there could be 60 in there. But really, as long as I'm making between 40 and 60, that's fine because these are very simple projects where you don't have to do much once set up properly. Um, and another factor going into this, as we see here, there is a massive amount of land for sale. This market has really slowed. I was selling lots here like crazy in 2019, 2020, 2021, even the beginning of 2022, and it has really, really died. There's still specific types in here that move a little quicker, but all that to say, if I need to go make some low offers, I can go get a decent deal on the market. I know this area street by street. And actually, this is right across from a lot I already own, so I might go make an offer on this one so I can build two right next to each other. This is a terrible picture because this is on a cul-de-sac, so I don't know who took this picture. But anyways, all that to say, getting more land is very easy. And so as you can see, this kind of confluence of factors makes this a great place to go build a few specs again headed into next year. And I wouldn't go build 20 homes here, but 2 to 3, maybe 5 a year. There's certainly the potential for that. And I'll have to do another video on setting things up with the contractor, but I'm hoping that this gets you thinking of, well, where in my market and areas that I'm doing business are similar to this. And one more thing for anyone who hasn't watched videos where I've talked about this market, I didn't think to share this because I've talked about this so much in every podcast and video I think I've ever done. But here's Colorado Springs. About 500,000 people are here in the city. Denver's up here. These are the start of the mountains, and then this is just nothing out here. It's like Kansas or Nebraska. And so as Denver blew up, pushed people to Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs has continued to grow and has gotten very expensive, relatively speaking, and has pushed more people here. And so you have a massive military base here, a huge Air Force base, and likely the home of the Space Force over here. Big prisons out here. So a lot of people live here and commute to these government jobs. And then people commute to Pueblo. And there is some employment here. But it is a decent market. I have 12 units down here just as far as rentals, where you can get people who just work at the prisons, who never leave. And so those are the same people you're going to sell houses to as well. So that's the market I'm looking at. That's why I'm going to build, and that's what I'm building. Hopefully, you can take that and apply it in your own business.